suppose one of the first things we need to look at is what is a social enterprise, and I think the easiest answer to that is it's a business. And social enterprises operate as all our businesses do, need to generate income and all the associated costs they have with running an operation successfully. They need to generate income to support their social mission, and social enterprises have the same issues as all our businesses have. The one thing that differentiates a social enterprise to another business is really what they do with their profits. There's no individual benefit to be gained. There are no dividends paid to individual shareholders, but all profits are reinvested back into the organisation to support their social mission, whether that be working with young people or ex-offenders or those disadvantaged in the community. Social Enterprise Northern Ireland is the representative body for social enterprises in the country. We are a membership organisation, and our membership is made up mostly of social enterprises, but we do have some corporate members and some public sector organisations, such as all the local councils, are all signed up as members as well. And those private sector and those public sector organisations receive support from Social Enterprise Northern Ireland in understanding such things as social value, introducing them to our members to get on the supply chains and what our members can actually do for them. So I suppose our aim really is to increase the awareness of social enterprise as a business model. And we're also a very strong lobbying organisation, and that was very clear in 2020 whenever we were one of the sectors that fell through the cracks for financial support. So Social Enterprise Northern Ireland stepped up to the mark, and we had numerous meetings with ministers, PermSecs, government officials to try to pull together a scheme to support the social enterprise sector. And we were delighted in September last year when we were asked to co-design a scheme alongside Department for Communities and Community Finance Ireland to support our members, which initially the scheme was totally oversubscribed, but through persistence we got an increase as well to meet the demands of all those who had applied and were successfully awarded some funds. So lobbying, raising awareness, membership, representing the sector. So if you're a private sector organisation or public sector, please get in touch, and we're happy to work with you to see how you too can work with social enterprises. We're asked the question sometimes, why would somebody set up a social enterprise? Why do they do it? I suppose you need to speak to some of the social entrepreneurs that we have in this country, and after a few seconds speaking to them, you will understand why they set up a social enterprise. Their passion is just unrecognisable, and what you'll come across as well is that each of them have set up their organisation because they have come across an issue that they want to address in today's society, whether or not it's helping those who are furthest from the labour market to get them into employment, whether or not it's to help those coming out of prison and want to get back into society again. But the passion for this sector is absolutely amazing, and since joining the sector in 2016 from the private sector, it's one of the first things hit me was just how passionate these people are when they're running their organisation. So I encourage you to find out more about social enterprises and contact Social Enterprise Northern Ireland. We can put you in touch and we can chat to you about how you as an organisation can understand the passion that exists within this sector. Some of the challenges that face social enterprises at the moment are similar to those that are faced by small, medium enterprises, the SMEs right across the country. They are businesses, they operate as businesses, so they have those issues. And recently, no more so than through the pandemic, and how they cover their costs. While they're maybe not in the building, they may still have to cover their rent. So things like that, and furlough schemes, how do they understand what furlough schemes are? So those sort of challenges, and Social Enterprise Northern Ireland have tried to help them where we can by bringing in experts in those fields to talk to our members from time to time. So those challenges of getting over the pandemic and getting set up again, and those that are retail focused, have found it obviously very difficult, and there are also individuals' concerns for members that we have tried to pick up and try to support them on. Obviously Brexit was a thing as well that was always lurking in the background, and the uncertainty around that. has been challenging for members too, particularly those that are operating in the border areas. So we've linked up with Social Enterprise Republic of Ireland in that regard, and we're looking to build the relationship cross-border post-Brexit. So that's important to us as well. Challenging around why Northern Ireland is so far behind other parts of the UK regarding social value legislation, and why we'd like to see a Social Value Act come to Northern Ireland. And that's important to us as well, that we don't lag too far behind the rest of the UK. So there's lots of challenges, but as businesses, they're the same challenges that face other SMEs that are operating on a day-to-day basis at the moment. We hear the term social value quite a lot, and suppose, so trying to explain social value, it's sort of a catch-all term which is used to describe the difference that an organisation or project can make to the community in which they're operating within. So for every £1 that's spent on the delivery of services, can that £1 be used better and more efficiently to give a wider benefit to the community? It's a way of thinking about how scarce resources are allocated and how they are used, and it involves looking beyond the price of each individual contract and looking at what the collective benefit to a community is when a public body chooses to award a contract. It's already there. It's already being carried out on a day-to-day basis by many people, and many private sector organisations don't realise that they're actually doing social value. So we've got to move away from price and quality as the determinants of contract, but add in that third element of social value and how we can actually make a difference by every pound that we're spending. How can we use that pound to make a real difference to our local communities through the tendering process? In late December 2020, Social Enterprise Northern Ireland were delighted that I was asked to join the procurement board as one of the sectoral representatives alongside 4 other sectors. And that was great for the sector to be at the table and be in the room whenever decisions and discussions were taking place around not only procurement but right back to the commissioning stage, and how commissioners can be trained up to look at other options rather than just procurement. So that's important to us, but it's important to us as well that's just not social enterprises, it's for all SME businesses as well, and how we can make SMEs and social enterprises more accessible for government to manage the contracts and to look at what those organisations offer. So there's a two-way bit for my role. One is trying to bring what the social enterprise sector wants to the procurement board, to try to look at legislation, for example, in form of Social Value Act, and how we can looking at training commissioners, for example, and how we can look at things like reserve contracts, light touch regimes. But it's also very clear that we need to upskill the sector, and social enterprises and all our SMEs as well required to understand more about how they can work with government departments and such things as how they can access and manage the e-tenders website and how they can get on that system. So we're running lots of courses for our members, and I would encourage those members to take part, just to find out how you can get registered on e-tenders and be part of what the government will be looking to roll out. And the other thing that's important in that for a social enterprise is that it's important that you register with our new scoping exercise and our database to list the social enterprises in Northern Ireland, because it's going to be used by government departments and ultimately by procurement board as a register for looking at who does what in what sector in the social enterprise sector when they're looking to maybe allocate reserve contracts. So make sure your social enterprises, you get registered on that database as soon as possible once it's released in a few weeks' time. I believe the last year, 14 months, have told us that we need to look at how we promote our organisations using digital. And I think that's something that as an organisation we've been very focused on. We have enhanced our social media presence with over 10,000 followers now on Twitter, and that has been a great means for us to promote the organisation but also the work of our members. So we're embracing the digital into the next year by enhancing our website, and we have a new website now launched. and we would encourage you to visit that, www.socialenterpriseni.org. We also have a very exciting development over the next few days, actually, of how we digitally promote our members, and that's something I would encourage you all to keep a lookout for over the next number of days. And as well as that, we'll just continue LinkedIn, Facebook, and Twitter and Instagram. So make sure you check us out on all those programs. Coming up, we have just launched our awards for 2021. Like everybody, 2020 didn't happen, but in 2019, the awards have grown such that we had 480 attendees at the Crown Plaza. And whether or not we get back to having that number of people in a room come the 15th of October 2021, we just don't know yet. But we have launched our awards. The categories are there are 13 categories, so check those out as well. With the restrictions on travel and maybe not as many people going abroad over this summer, we have decided to launch Buy Social Summer, and we will be promoting those destinations and those outlets and those organisations for you who are staying at home in Northern Ireland to check out on your days out. So that's an exciting prospect coming up over the next couple of months. So I would encourage you to keep a lookout again through our social media on our Buy Social Summer. Our all-party group meeting coming up at the end of June, when we'll be looking at social value, is very important to us as well, and we'll have some guest speakers there from the UK who have embraced social value and are further down the line in what we are in Northern Ireland to talk about that story. We've linked up recently as well with what we call our sister organisation in the Republic of Ireland, Social Enterprise RI, and we'll be bringing forward events with them over the next few months as well, just to how we can link our members to theirs, and just a awareness raise of what's happening both sides of the border. One of the important things we have is pulling together a database of all social enterprises based in Northern Ireland, and we've been asked to do that by the Department for Economy, and that's going to be very important. So any social enterprises who are listening to this, keep a lookout for, over the next few weeks, how to do that on our website, how to register your social enterprise. It's important for government departments to know who is out there, and we've been asked to pull together this list, which will be used by everyone from individual government departments through to the procurement board, who will actually be looking at this list whenever they're talking about who they can reserve contracts for. So I was giving a call to action to you. I would ask you to come and join the movement. There are more and more people getting involved in social enterprise, more and more people wanting to know what social enterprises do. And we would encourage you, whether you're at your public sector, private sector, educational sector, to come along and look and see how you can include social enterprises within your supply chains. So come along and support the sector. We're very happy to come talk to you about being members of Social Enterprise Northern Ireland. So get in touch and come and join the change makers. Profit with purpose. Thank you.